Hey guys, welcome back. This is Cam. Today I'm going to discuss about Dendrobium, mainly the different types of Dendrobiums. Dendrobium are categorized into two different categories. One is called the hard cane, and the other one is called Dendrobium nobile or the soft cane. Now, Dendrobium nobile are deciduous Dendrobium, which means that by winter times the leaf will yellow and fall off, which is normal. I have here a three Dendrobium nobile types. This sold to me as Dendrobium Thai or Dentai. This one is Dendrobium Nagasaki. And this one is Dendrobium Red Amber Prince. Similar color to my Red Amber. Similar colors. I think they're cousins. The characteristic of a Dendrobium nobilis are the one that you see here. The leaves grows on every node. As the cane grows taller, more leaves will form. Okay, and typically the nobile type, when it blooms out of every node here under the leaf. Okay, so the leaves is here. It's gonna bloom around here, next to the leaves, and every node it's gonna bloom if you provide a winter rest. Now, a lot of the nobile types, they do require winter rest, which means that wintertime you will water a lot less than you normally would. If you typically water every 2-3 days, you are expect to water this every 2-3 weeks in the winter time. You do want to stress the plants out, and I do mean stress it out, so that it send out flower buds instead of keikis like I have here. Keiki will form at the node as well. This is the leaf here, and typically the flower spikes should be formed over here, but if you don't provide a winter rest, or you don't provide a proper winter rest, or the plant isn't under stress, it will send out keikis on this node instead of flower spike. The Dendrobium Red Amber that I have, they typically doesn't require winter rest. They can bloom even if I water them regularly. But this year, most of my Dendrobium Red Amber, they are grow from keikis because the mother plants died off. Okay, so a lot of them are, setting out and new growth. So they're in the process of reestablish itself. This dentai, same thing. The main plants died about a year ago, and I have here keikis. They're all growing from keikis. This is also a keikis I bought off of somebody from Facebook, who's very trustworthy. Okay, his plants is very healthy. I wouldn't worry about his plants. I went to his house to pick this one up, and his collection is very nice. Most of the nobile types, they can grow up to 3 feet tall. So if you have a space problem, you do not want to have nobile types unless you can mount them. And they are top heavy. When they grow taller, 3 feet tall, they get really top heavy, and you need to stick them with a bamboo stick, or my style with a chopstick. But a chopstick in this case might not work because they're 3 feet tall. Okay, even this one here about 3 feet tall when the mother plants was this tall. So keep in mind, when you want to grow dendrobiums, you do want to consider the space. If you have a smaller growing space, you might want to look for a compact sized type of dendrobium. So these are the Dendrobium nobile type that you're seeing here. Next up, I have two typical Dendrobium phalaenopsis here. What differentiates the phalaenopsis type and the nobile type is phalaenopsis types only have 3 to 5 leaves on the top. The bottom of the cane will be no leaves. There's gonna be nodes on every cane, and it's gonna bloom again, same thing out of the node here and also the top. This one already flowered. This one used to have a tag. I don't know what I did with it. I have to look it up. So this is your typical phalaenopsis type. And this is the one that you probably want to grow if you live in an apartment where space is limited. It's not too tall, and it's about 1.5 feet, maybe a little over a foot. So perfect for those of you who are having issue with space, especially you grow indoor with those multi-tiered racks where they have about 2 feet of space in between the racks, this will be perfect. But do keep in mind though, Phalaenopsis, Dendrobium phalaenopsis, they do bloom from the top and their spike can get a little longer to the top. So you do want to consider that as well when it blooms, is that you want to provide a little more space for the flower spike to form. I have here a Dendrobium that I purchased before the end of before Christmas of last year. This is called Dendrobium Myers. Myers. It's also known as Dendrobium number 4. I think the person who crossed this likes number 4 is better than the first 3, so he named this Dendrobium Myers number 4. Again, this one has 2 keikis for here, 1 and 2. I do have a spike here. I'm not sure you can see. This is a previously bloomed spike, but I think this would also form a new keikis for me because this part right here have nodes, and once it's sending out roots, then you will have keikis growing out of this. That is the reason why when you have Dendrobium phalaenopsis type, you want to pay attention to its flower spike. If the flower spike is fat like the canes, then you might end up with a keikis, like just like this one, because they can actually form keikis. Let me take you a closer look. I'm not sure you can see here. There's a node here. Okay, there's the node here. That's an eye. That's about to send out a new growth. All right. This, like I said, this was a spike. Okay, so it does, and it will send out keikis if you allowed it to grow. It does, and it will send out keikis if the flower spike are like this, fat. You see how the keikis here? It's the same size. All right. I know many of you guys probably encountered this in your collections when you have Dendrobium phalaenopsis type, where the spike start growing root at the base, like this. At the base here, it start growing root. I call it spikies, which is basically a spikes and a keikis. Once it form root, it can send out new growth, and therefore you will end up with a keikis. So you want to take care of that. All right. So here you have it. There are 2 different categories: the Dendrobium phalaenopsis and the Dendrobium nobile types. What's the difference between the 2? You can see the difference. The nobile type have leaves on every node. Even the new growth, it's already starting to have leaves at the bottom here. As it grows bigger, longer, it will have more leaves. So if you purchase Dendrobium and you can tell the different types, this is a video that you must watch. The care for these types, they are similar, okay? There's not much of difference between Dendrobium phalaenopsis and Dendrobium nobile types. They have the similar care. They all need bright light to bloom, and they all need to be well watered during growth seasons. And the only exception is the Phalaenopsis type can bloom multiple times a year, whereas the nobile type will only bloom once, maybe twice maximum a year, depending on the hybrid that you have. Majority of the nobile type only bloom once a year, which is in the springtime. In the winter time, when it go dormant, it's gonna send out flower spike. That's when you have to go give it a winter rest, where you're gonna withhold water for a long period of time. Once you see the cane start to shrivel up, then you want to provide a little bit more water. Okay, in the winter time, you're gonna see this canes without leaves. All the leaves will drop, which is normal. Don't panic if you see the leaves start to drop on the nobile type. Whereas the Phalaenopsis type, this is going to be evergreen. Yes, the leaf will eventually drop as it age, like any other plants or any other orchids. As it age, the leaf will drop, okay? But the canes will still provide energy to the new growth. So you do not want to remove any of the old cane, even though it has no leaves, like this one right here. It doesn't have any leaves. All right, guys, thanks for coming. Now, I'm sure you guys probably learned the difference between nobly typed and the Phalaenopsis typed. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you can share the video with your friends, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss any video that I'll be uploading. Thank you. See you.